Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Ashley Randolph podcast show. I have a lovely guest today, and I'm so excited. I've been planning this for maybe 2 weeks now for Miss Marie Mosley. She is the author of Pretty Divorce, which is a very touchy topic, which I am absolutely so excited about sharing with you all. I know we do get some questions to our case managers about do they have any resources for when going through a divorce or how to find a lawyer and things like that. So this is a little educational for you guys. She'll tell you about her book, but most importantly, you have to hear her story. Thank you, Miss Marie, for joining us today. Uh,
Thank you for having me.
yes, thank you. I can't tell you how excited I am to have you. I have been putting your flyers up for 2 weeks now and telling anyone who would listen to me to make sure they watch today. So,
Okay.
incredible story that you have. I want you to, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to the audience and let them know who you are. And please tell us about when your book will come out. If you want to start with that, and then we'll go to your backstory. I think that will
Okay.
be phenomenal.
Okay. Perfect. Yes, I am the author of Pretty Divorce: How to Sever a Toxic Union and Create an Illuminated Future. The book is on pre-order now. It's right. It's on pre-order, and you can order it if you want at theprettydivorce.com. And it should be in people's hands no later than next week. I'm finalizing everything in printing and getting them right out to everybody because it's been on pre-order for a little bit. Um, so yeah, it's been a
So,
journey.
right in
It's been a
time for the
journey.
holidays.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I actually wanted it to be out this summer, but I do trust in God's timing. So I think maybe the timing is perfect,
I
and it's
think it's
okay.
perfect. And I'll do another little hint. So I'm very business savvy. So my business mind instantly said, okay, holiday sales are like the highest time that you're going to have the most profit. And then it also told me that this is also one of the times when people who are going through a divorce get really sad because it's the maybe the first holiday season that
Mhm,
they're not
mhm,
together. And
mhm.
what a great book to give to someone who's sad and down and say, honey, it's a pretty divorce. That
Absolutely.
face up. So I think it's wonderful.
Thank
Timing
you.
is everything.
Mhm.
I do believe in divine timing. So I think you're going to do a wonderful job. If you
Thank
need
you.
any ideas for gift wrapping them books, I already have some too. Um, so
Oh my
how
God, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you and just the strength to write this book. You
Mhm,
had to have so much incredible strength to even look at what you went through to
mhm,
come out of that because I'm sure you had a lot of emotion
mhm.
to sit there because I had to write a book for the NICU and my
Okay.
experiences and it was one of my most traumatic experiences. I had three preemies.
Okay.
All three was horrible. So to sit there and write that was
Mhm,
almost like journaling my
mhm,
experience. And
mhm.
whoo, there were some moments I forgot about. So I
Yes.
can only imagine how hard it was
Yes.
for you. And to still call it pretty divorce. I mean,
Yes. Yes. You are the first person that understands exactly what I was going through. There were times when I had to put it down for a little while, and just go back because it was almost like reliving everything over and over again. The editing, the going through it, the writing, it was really taking its toll sometime on me. And I began the process during because let me go back. I want to say this part. At first, I really did lose my identity in this marriage. And my story was wrapped around being teenage parents, that stayed together and kind of made something of themselves. All right. So that was my story.
Okay. Like a fairy tale story.
I didn't think about the toxicity. I just
Yeah.
like, all right, we're together. You know, we have a story because I've always wanted to be an author. I always knew that I was going to write my story. So, but it took me years to redevelop a new identity, my own identity, without separating apart from the relationship, you know, because we were together from the time I was 13 till I was 38. Yes. All of those years.
All
Those
the major
important years.
milestones. All
Major
the
years.
good 20s.
Yes.
So was it hard to go through your 20s in the book? Because I know you were looking like these were my golden years.
So the book tells you a lot, but I'm going to say this. And this is not a funny topic, but around about 16 or 17, I became suicidal. It had gotten that bad. It had gotten that bad. And I talk about it in the book. My girlfriend introduced me to her boyfriend's friend, and he kind of became an outlet. So, yeah, I don't advocate side relationships. However, I have to say that my side relationship kind of saved my life. You know,
so that moment it worked.
Yeah. So my 20s were horrific at home, but they were glorious somewhere else. If that can, you know. So.
I don't know why, you guys. I'm sorry, but I have to say this. I am getting the song Khalees Milkshake Bring All the Boys to the Yard stuck in my head when she said, you know, it's like this at home, but outside. Oh my goodness. But it worked for you. You're still here.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I'm not advocating for it, but
not at all. And I'm, and I don't take, because I was an educator for so many years working with kids, I would have a lot of children with suicide ideation, attempts, different things that I've gone through. So I don't take that lightly. But as a teenager, becoming a mother at 14, I was a good student. I was a really, really, really good student. I started to fail in school. Like all of the things that made me who I was beginning to change. And it's like I deviated from the plan and I was spiraling out. So, so it became a little bit rough for me around that age. But finding another outlet, albeit it was a side relationship, it really did help me. It helped. He helped me a lot. You know what I mean? Like I'm married to a different man right now. my girlfriends, some of my girlfriends, they were like, "Wait a minute, what? Like you're not with him anymore. How are you not going to be with this guy?" Because that's how
that's how it was forever.
Yeah, we really, really fit. But things happen, and I'm in a new relationship. He's in a new relationship, but I definitely know for a fact that we both still have a really high regard for one another. Him and his family were my solace. They were my peace. So I can never forget that. Like I can never forget them, and what's awesome is my husband now, he knows all about it because him and I were best friends. So he got to know and understand how crazy I was about this guy and how indebted I was and how, I hold him in a really high regard and stuff. So, and he's okay with it. He's an alpha. He's an alpha and he's confident. So
okay, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's not intimidated by it or anything. So I can talk about it. He knows about it. So,
but that's a good thing too, because he knows what he's coming into.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot about baggage and people coming into new relationships with extra baggage. But for him, he already seen your baggage. So you're really not coming in with no baggage because you already knew each other. So that
Hmm.
actually, do you think that you guys are more on like a soulmate type of plane now? Because
Oh, my husband. Let
yeah, the
me
one
be.
you're with
Because
now.
you know what, my husband was like, "Tell your story and be honest." I really felt like the other guy was my soulmate. I really,
Mm,
really, really did. And there's some amazing stories about our journey that I'm even thinking about putting into a book. Like I used to be able to feel his pain. Like if something happened to him, I would know, you know?
mm,
And so when I think about my soulmate, I don't know. My husband right now, me and him I guess because we were best friends or something, we fit. It's
mhm.
crazy to me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
some women wait their whole lifetime to feel what I felt with the other guy
yeah.
and even what I feel with my husband. You know what I mean? Like my
Hmm.
husband is my dude. He's my, my
That's
eighth
your
grade
rock.
home. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
So so I never compare the two of them, but they both were like gifts to me. That's how I feel, honestly.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
and I wouldn't give my husband up for anything. Like, for
Look at
anything.
you.
Because he's really been there for me, for my children. Like that's their father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's their father. And um so his place in my life and what he means to me is tremendous. So
Hmm.
it doesn't compare to the other one. It's different, but both of them were beneficial to my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't in all honesty take anything away from
Yeah.
the other person. You know what I mean? Because
It's
he
like
really.
getting two different jewels, and it's like they're
Absolutely.
both
Yes.
beautiful in their own way.
Absolutely. And it's fine for that. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Hmm.
have to be
They're
one or
part of
the
your
other.
crown.
Absolutely. And so my husband is just like he's my life now. And he knows that I wouldn't deviate from that for anything. You know what I mean? I can still give honor to the other person without being disrespectful to him. It doesn't take because he's that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He really is. He's awesome. He's one of them people. He has his own children biologically, and then he has my children. And anybody, even me, I look at him with all of them, and you can't tell which one's a which.
Oh,
That's how
see,
savvy he is and how much love he has to give, that
and
he's
that's how it's
willing to
supposed to
spread
be.
it. You know what I mean? He's willing to spread it. And so, um, but yeah, we both have a really good understanding. A lot of people think that you shouldn't talk about your past relationships,
Yeah.
but we were best friends, so we told each other, we
Everything
told each
anyway.
other everything. Yeah, I feel this way, and this person did this, and I feel this way about that. And then we ended up together. So, and we didn't let it get in the way of what we felt for each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's.
So listening to you, you sound so confident.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
I gotta know. I'm gonna tell you a little backstory about some of the women in my family and
Okay.
why I found what you just said so powerful. Because you were able to divorce and find
Mm-hmm.
somebody else to make you happy,
Mm-hmm.
and you still are good. Your life is good. You don't have to dwell on the past, and you
Not at
found
all.
someone that still matches you. So I have been with my husband. We've been together this month. On the 29th, we'll make officially 10 years, and
Okay.
we've been married for six. Um, a lot of the women in my family are not married. They
Okay.
have all got married and divorced,
Okay.
and divorced is where they stayed. Um,
Okay.
so to me, growing up, it was almost looking to these women. They were all powerful, independent
Mm-hmm.
women, but it was like, why did you stop on your love life
Mm-hmm.
after divorce? Like they didn't feel they were worthy enough. But then
Okay.
I hear you come and I'm like, okay, well, it sounds like she knows she worthy enough and she went and got her man. So, you know, it's an eye opener. So, for those who are out there listening to or watching,
Mhm.
if you have a background like me where the family that you have, they get divorced and stopped, here's a story that tells you you can continue to move on.
Mhm.
And
You
so
know,
it's powerful to
you
me.
know, I think that one thing, my background in psychology
Mhm.
and counseling and things, it really helped me going to school, right? I learned a lot about relationships and human behavior. And I was hell bent on not bringing my baggage with me. Like, I wanted no parts of it. It had to go. I didn't want it to go into a new relationship. I didn't want it to go to the store. I didn't want it to go to work. Like, this is bad. It's done. It was a bag of garbage to me. It wasn't like luggage to keep carrying around. It was
Yeah.
something to discard, right? And I also did not want my husband to pay for what someone else did to me. I think that's completely unfair. I also talk about it in the book. Anytime someone did something to me, I dealt with them, and this has been me since I was a little girl. I dealt with that person personally. I didn't carry it outside to dump it on people that did not deserve it or give it to, or they had nothing to do with my pain and my suffering. So, and there's a lot of women that ask me that, like, how did you do it? Because it is a process. It's a process
Mhm.
of learning to trust somebody again. It's a process of you allowing somebody to really love you, and believe that that's what their intentions are. So
Mhm.
my process, I took some time off. I did. I wasn't, because a lot of us, where we make mistakes is jumping in and out of relationships, back and forth. Like, we get the revolving door, and we never take our time to really heal, process what happened, reflect
Mhm.
on what happened. What did I do wrong? Because everybody's not perfect. You didn't do everything right. What did I allow myself to be involved in? What do I not want to be involved in? And you used the
Uh-oh.
key word earlier about journaling. It's really
Mhm.
important for women to, like, start writing down what's going on. I have like 5 million notebooks all over the
Okay, so
place,
I do too.
all over the place in this house, but they're good because you get to get your feelings out. You get to act, and you also said something before we started. We talked about girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
Girlfriends are good. Their intentions are good. But most of the time when you talk to your girlfriends, if women want to admit it, it turns into like a male bashing session. And we just we just go, ham
Absolutely.
on it, and here, and this one from 10 years ago, he did this. Those, you're muted, Ashley.
That's it.
Those
Absolutely.
conversations are not productive. They're
Mm-mm.
not productive, and they keep us stagnated. They keep us bitter. They keep
Mm-hmm.
us resentful, and those are recipes for never really going on to, because now you're not really open. You're not open to having love come to you,
Yeah.
and you're not willing to give love because somebody already trampled all over it.
Yeah.
But you know that saying about the $1 bill or a $10 bill, you can crush it up,
Mm-hmm.
smash it, kick it all around, and you drag it through the dirt. And when you
Yeah.
open it and take it to the store, it's still
It's
worth ten
still
dollars.
$10.
So, as women, if we can understand that our value is not diminished because of the stuff we've gone through, and life does go on after whatever his name is, like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't let one monkey stop your show. You keep the show going. You have to, because if not, they win.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to reduce it to that, but the truth is they win.
Yeah.
They left you a shell of a woman, while they're out enjoying their life with whomever, and
Mm-hmm.
you're sitting around and you've not really find yourself. And that's only if you want to have another relationship. Some people go through so much they don't want to be bothered anymore. But
Yeah.
even in those places, I think that if they went through some healing and, mindset changes and self-development, reinvent
Hmm.
yourself, turn
Hmm.
things around, it can work for them. They don't have to be alone. I don't think that we're designed to be alone.
I agree. I don't think we are either.
We
Definitely
aren't.
not.
I think we were designed for companionship, you know,
Hmm.
and to have someone that genuinely loves us in our lives. And because one
Yeah.
man didn't appreciate it and didn't understand the treasure that he had, that's his problem and his
Yep.
loss. And you have to shift your mindset. You have to. Because if we sit around pondering what we went through, why, if I shoulda, coulda, woulda, why didn't I? We're wasting more time.
Yeah, I agree. And we don't
Wasting
have
more
that much time to lose. Every day we get
Absolutely.
older.
Absolutely.
I have to ask you a question.
I'm here for it.
You have this accent. You got to tell us about your accent, where you come from, and if you don't mind, I know we talked a little bit offline
Hmm.
about some of your family and some of your family
Okay.
stories and how they are in the book. You don't have to say it all if you don't want to,
Okay.
because we
Hmm.
do want you guys to get the book.
Okay.
So, but if you want to, just touch on it a little bit, just to invite everyone into your life and how you were able
Hmm.
to get this beautiful mindset that I hope we all can have after meeting with you today.
Thank you. So I was born and raised in the Bronx in New York City. Right?
Okay.
Growing up, people thought I was Southern for some reason. Now, my
Hmm.
dad, yes, I don't know. My dad is from was born and raised in South Carolina.
Okay.
So I didn't know, maybe his genes were that powerful that I got his accent. But I'm originally from Bronx, New York. We just quickly, my dad died when I was 5,
I'm
and
sorry
we
about
came
that.
from, thank you, we came from a quaint little neighborhood, and after his death we had a fire.
Really?
So no, I shouldn't leave my precious dog out. After my dad died, maybe like 2 months later, we lost our dog that was there when I was born, and then we had the fire, and then we moved to the projects in the South Bronx, which were a bit intimidating, but we had to do what we had to do. That's where we were placed, and so we lived there for a while. After getting used to all of that, around about when I was 12, my sister passed away. I don't want to say, well, my sisters, both of them are my favorite
Oh,
siblings. I'm going to say, my brothers, they are.
yeah.
I got my oldest brother that I'm like in love with, my oldest brother. But my sisters were my sisters.
Those,
They
yeah.
never treated me like a pesky little kid. I was like their life, anything, like, what do you want to do? Take me shopping, doing my hair, everything. So I love my sisters. Um, but my middle sister, she was 22 years old, and she had a preemie. Yes, she had a
Oh,
baby. She was born 1 pound and 7 ounces.
ooh, little warrior.
Yes. Hmm. And she fought through that. She came home on Valentine's Day of 1983. She was born in 82.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
So a
yeah,
long
she was
NICU
born in
stay.
83. And my sister, they gave my sister the wrong medication
Oh, no.
for an allergic reaction, and she ended up. Oh God, I've never told nobody this. I wrote it in my book, but I didn't never utter the words.
Mm.
Um,
Well,
she
you're in a
ended up.
safe place, so know that.
Yeah, I know, but it's still
It's
difficult.
still
Like,
hard every time. I know.
oh, God. So she ended up she was hallucinating from this medication, and she and the baby went out the window.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And
I'm so sorry. Ooh,
it's
that's why
been a
you're
minute,
such
but
a
still,
fighter. Man.
she so the baby passed away that day, and then my sister was in the hospital for 2 months. And the day we told her, because we didn't tell her for the whole 2 months. She was in the ICU, unit for 2 months, and the doctors suggested, because she couldn't really remember what happened, and the doctors suggested that we didn't tell her, because it would be detrimental to her healing and her health and everything.
Mhm.
And once she got herself together and she was in the regular room and she was asking, like, now I'm out of the ICU, I can see the baby. I need to see the baby. They got a psychologist, my mom, the clergy. We all were in there, and we all told her what happened. And she was gone the next day.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she was gone the next day. The doctor said she went into some sort of cardiac arrest, and she had this pneumonia that they didn't detect in her system. And I was just like, yeah, no, that I don't think that's it. Like my sister adored that baby. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Every single day at the hospital for as long as sit there and wait till she go back in and visit. You have preemies, you know how it
Yeah.
know what you go through, you know what I mean?
Um, I'm thinking, if I was her in her place and um not talking for your sister, of course, but if it was me and then I heard that news, I mean, you literally, how we were talking about earlier about, you don't want to lose yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're in the NICU, you kind of do lose yourself, and then
Mm-hmm.
you become all about that baby. And then I can totally understand her feeling like her whole life just got snatched because
Yeah.
that's all she worried about. And that I know those NICU stays are not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bless
She
your
was she
sister.
was
Bless
Yes,
you.
thank
Um,
you. Yeah, she was completely attached to that baby. I mean,
yeah.
if the baby would have a stain on her t-shirt. I remember we couldn't see the stain, but my sister could
She was like,
see the
no,
stain.
no, no.
And she'd be like, no, I have to change her clothes and I have to, and she just
Hmm.
cared for her so much and was very attached to her. And yeah, I really do believe that in her heart of hearts. I know people don't, we don't know how life works. We don't know how people do what they do, but I just believe that she let go of this life because the fact that um my niece wasn't here, and I think the thought of her seemed like having something to do with it. I
Hmm.
think it was crushing
It was
her.
too much.
It was too much for her to bear. That day that we told her, it was in the morning. So me and my mom stayed with her like the whole day. The family was in and out,
That's
but we stayed there.
good.
And I can't count how many times she just kept saying, I'm sorry. She didn't cry.
Mm.
She didn't cry. She just was like, I'm so sorry, Denise. Do you forgive me? And I'm like, no, like mommy said, it wasn't your fault, that they gave you the wrong meds. It's not your fault. Like it's nothing for me to forgive, you know what I mean? But
Like she was
yeah,
in shock. Mhm.
she was over it,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Ah,
so I ended up losing my niece 6 days after my 12th birthday.
oh, you were so
Wait, oh,
young.
yeah, I think after my 12th birthday, and then my sister passed away in 2 months after that. And I literally had to go back to school. Like, I literally had to go back to school. Like, I didn't just bury them. you know. And it was my 13th birthday. I'm wrong. It was my 13th birthday when I was going into 7th grade. Yeah.
Wow.
I had to go right back to school like maybe a week after we buried my sister. Like and try to maintain grades and act like everything was, now not for nothing, school was a big thing for me. So it really was a way to get my mind off of stuff, but it wasn't doing what it used to do for me. It was horrific. Like I think I felt like a zombie some days walking around,
So your brothers, are they older or younger?
Yeah, I'm the baby.
You're the baby. Okay.
The bunch, yes.
So
it was 6 of us. It was 6 of us.
Big family.
Yes.
And I'm the only child until I was 18. And my dad had another child, so I do have a half sister who's just as intelligent as me, but wow, 6?
Yeah, 6 of us. Yep, and she was the 3rd oldest. It's my sister, my brother, my sister, my brother, then me.
Okay. So you had a lot of brothers. Did they during this time, because you're talking about going back to school, and obviously you went through something very traumatic. Do you think your brothers was very consoling to you at that time? Because you're the baby, so
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. My sister was like the glue.
Yeah.
And we realized something very, very weird. My older sister says that my other sister was my mom's best friend. So my sister was born February 1st. My mom was born February 20th.
Oh, okay.
My mom passed away August 28th. My sister passed away August 31st.
No.
Yes. Yep. And it really was strange because my mom is buried on top of my sister.
Wow.
So when we finally got because due to COVID and all of this, it took a little while for, to get things in order. But when we finally got the stone, the way my mom purchased the stone, so 20-something years ago, it was left with enough room. So instead of us buying a brand new stone, we just had them remove it and add my mom's information to it right under my sister. And when we went there, we were looking at the stone like, wait a minute, they were born in the same month. They passed away in the same month. And my sister was like the life of the party. She was the one, that one person in the family that kind of lights it all up and have everything and everybody. So anybody from New York to South Carolina, I'm skipping Washington, D.C. We have a lot of family there. Anybody that knew my sister was really devastated. It was hard. At the time, I'm going to say really that no one kind of wrapped around me. No one really, was like, oh, little sis, like, how you doing? And as I was writing the book, I realized that we all were in the daze. We all were traumatized. It was so tragic. My brothers thought that her boyfriend had something to do with it. They were on the warpath. They were thinking more about that.
Really, yeah.
Yes, because she was at our house. She had left her house in the pouring rain with the baby. That's how we knew something was wrong. So, and she came to our house for like shelter. And then her boyfriend showed up around 3-4 in the morning trying to get her to go home. And so she went home. And then the next phone call we got was that she went out the window. So my brothers were on the warpath. We didn't know what happened. She couldn't really remember too much. So we didn't know if he did something to her or whatever. So no one, and right after my sister passed away and we went to the hospital and came home, I kind of went mute for a week or so. Like I wouldn't speak, I was just dazed out. My mom was there. So I don't, they didn't really come to too much, gather around Denise because something might be wrong with her. My middle name is Denise. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but as now that I'm older, I don't really blame anybody because I know that we all were just in the daze. It was unbelievable, unfathomable that this was happening, to us, to her. Yeah. And so I don't blame everybody. Everybody, went into their own corners to try to figure out how to process it and deal with it and get their lives together. So
I can't even imagine, like, just visualizing everything you're saying right now. It almost feels like a bad dream that's never going to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, from the age of, I think you said, what, 6?
Five.
You're 5 when your dad passed away, and then the fire, and then you had to move to an area that was a little different.
Very different.
Then you had to, I'm assuming, learn all different type of skill sets to live in this new environment.
Absolutely.
And then this happens with your sister.
Let's just call it what it is. I had to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to survive. I did. And I talk about it in the book that, I was just starting to get my bearings straight. Like I finally started to feel a little bit of stability. Yeah. Like things were normal for a little bit, And then my sister, it just literally pulled the rug from under me. And then after that, so that happened when I was 13.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So you met your first husband around that time, right?
And by the time I'm 14, I'm having a baby.
What?
Yeah. It just, I'm telling you,
fast.
My sister dying really just threw me off. It threw me off completely. Like it just threw me completely off my game. I'm telling you.
Okay, wait.
I'm telling you.
Okay. This interview is getting so good. Okay, I have one question. We got to 13.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to get you a documentary, okay? You get to 13, and I'm just so curious. You were talking about going back to school and your grades. Mm-hmm. Like, did your grades at this point just completely fall, and then you met him? And
so that summer, while I was dealing with everything with my sister, we went into we went with my girlfriends. Were always talking about him.
We're talking about girlfriends again.
Yeah, they knew him. I didn't. Mm-hmm. And I'm not for nothing. My brother was a part of the Nation of Islam. And he used to teach me a lot of stuff. And he used to teach me a lot of stuff about being a Black woman and, a female. And, how it's because of women that we populate the earth and how important we are and our contribution to society and stuff. And so my brother was he was a very integral part of me being almost as powerful as I am. God had a lot to do with it. My mom and my sister, but my brother, young, that's the type of time he spent with me, teaching me who I am, teaching me to look at people's character, and not just taking them at face value or what they said or material things. People had to show me who they were, not just, So I didn't really like this guy, which makes matters a lot because I didn't really like him at first. I didn't like him. He was not a good person. He messed around with a lot of girls, different stuff. So we ended up getting to know each other, and I gave him, I let my guards down and gave him a break or whatever. And by the time I turned around, I was in a serious situation of peer pressure. And yeah, no, really, it was
Oh my
peer pressure
goodness.
because I knew better. I
Yeah.
knew better, and you know how
Mhm.
hard it is years later to look at your life and know you've made these mistakes or gone down this path,
Mhm.
knowing that you knew better,
I'm
you know?
working on that with my son who's about to be 12 this year. Right
Yes,
now.
absolutely. You know what I mean? You have to
hmm
tell him that because my husband, my new husband, he has a saying, decisions, decisions, decisions.
hmm
And your decisions can change the whole trajectory of your life. Like it
hmm
really, one small, you could think it's minute, you could think it's small, one little decision could just change your whole path. So we have to be, because life is life,
Yeah.
and life is not playing with people.
There's no
It
redos.
does not care that you're 12. It does not care that you're
hmm
13. It does not care. It doesn't
hmm
care that this is your first time.
hmm
The sperm met the egg, and guess what? You're having a baby. You see
hmm
what I mean? Life
Whew.
is for
One
real.
time. That's all it takes.
What? And it was my first time.
No. Even more traumatic.
Let me tell you something. I was just like, I was like, what is happening to me? Why? Like, why?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
And it's so many years later that I can say that it's okay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You learned a lot.
Because now that life has given me so much lessons and so much experience that I can help other people. You know what I mean?
hmm
So they say that God gives his the toughest battles, to the
Yeah.
strongest soldiers.
hmm
So if he saw fit to say, like, you know what, she can handle it. She's gonna
Yeah.
make it through it. She's gonna come through, and she's gonna glorify me and let people know that I do exist because I brought her through.
hmm
Then it's okay. But in the
That's
in the
it.
process of it, it's not. In the process, it wasn't okay. I
I
was
know
like,
you were just wanted to
I
throw
was
in the
like,
towel so
what
many
is
times.
going on? I was like, what is going on? What is happening? Why is this happening? All of these things just keep happening. And I'm in the center of it all.
What a testimony.
Yeah.
And we haven't even got to the end yet. We're only at 14 years old. Oh my goodness. I have to ask.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
I won't get into so many because you do have this in your book, right?
Yes.
Some of this. So I won't ask too many questions. But I am so curious to know when Mama Baby came in and said, Mama, I'm pregnant, what was Mama's response? Because you the baby.
So
We got to
yeah,
remember.
I, yes, absolutely. I'm glad you realized that. I can't wait for you to read this book because I'm glad
I
you
can't
you
wait to
can
read it.
realize that I'm 13 and pregnant, and as a woman, you can say, she's still a baby. Because some
hmm
people didn't treat me that nice.
Yeah.
Some people didn't care that I was 13, but you'll read about that. Um, so my mom, my sister, the person that didn't treat me well was on the warpath against me, and I had to get to my sister. I couldn't think.
Yeah.
I couldn't take time to think about anything, so I had to call my sister. My sister is my rider. She does not have children. I am, and I don't care about her godchildren. I don't care about
Okay.
my children. That's her nieces and nephews. I am the closest thing she has to her own daughter.
You
She has
claiming that
always,
right now?
oh, absolutely. And you can ask her, she'll tell you. She has always treated me well. She has always taken care of me. She has always, she's never, in all of my ups, downs, back and forths, mistakes, you know, my sister has never treated me like, what's wrong with you? Are you dumb or something? Like, what's happening? Like, she's
That's all we want to hear.
yeah, she's always just like, little niece, what's up? What we gonna do? What you want to do? So I got to my sister, and once my sister was on my side, that was all she wrote. That was really all she
Aww.
wrote. She was like, she had just moved into a really nice area of the Bronx. She had 2 bedrooms. And she was like, if you want to come and live with me, with the baby, she's like, you're more than welcome to that room. She was like, I know you might be a little embarrassed. Like, I don't know what you want to do. She was like, well, I don't care. But all I know is you're finishing school. I'll pay for daycare. I'll do you're finishing school. You understand? And I was like, all right, So when we went, she went with me to tell my mom. She actually told my mom for me. So
Oh,
she
good.
buffer. She wasn't one of those people like, you have to say it. You're gonna say it. She was like, Mom, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. This is the part I'm playing. Like, so what? And my mother was like, what? My mother was like, like, wait a minute. Wait, that ain't a part of the plan. We talk about college in this house. We talk about finishing school and education. That's not a part of the plan. And so I pretty much told my mom, this is what I'm doing because of my brother. My brother was very big on the things he taught me. Abortion was not one, like we were not going to do that. So, I told my mom I didn't want to do it, and I was going to have this baby. I made my bed and I'm going to lie in it and we going to be okay, That's why I was hoping to, when I saw that you had youth and parents on there, yeah. I wanted to tell children because I feel like I was my most powerful at 13 years old. Even when I sit in front of people and they're like, oh, you seem so confident. You seem to have it all together. And I'm like, ooh, some days I don't. But when I was 13, I was severely determined and persistent. And like kids are powerful. Kids are powerful. I think kids are powerful because they have not been in the world long enough to be, some of them, because some of them do have it rough. I don't want to discount the ones that come into the world with these rough things going on. But for the most part, kids have not been tainted. They've not been traumatized to their core, really hurt, And so they still have a lot of strength and resilience in them. They know how to bounce back quick. And so I always want kids to believe in themselves and know how powerful they are, And so, so at 13, I was like dynamic. I was just like, I was like, let me tell you something. I did this. This is my responsibility. I'm taking ownership of it, and I'm having this baby. I'm not gonna do it. Like I just wasn't willing to do it, And I
had to advocate for yourself.
Yeah,
and you are a really good advocate. It sounds like.
Thank you. And you know what? I don't only advocate for me. Even when I was a kid, I advocated for others. My mom, she used to work, she was a para for the New York City Department of Education, and she worked in the special ed department. And you would not want to make fun of those kids. You would not want to be on the side of talking down to people or, my mom, she was that person. She was not, she wouldn't allow it. And so if we did it as her kids, we would have something to pay once we got home. So, we grew up looking at other people, as equal to us, not beneath us in no way, education wise, financially, anything of that nature. We had to respect people, whatever station in life they were in. And so I think that's what made me a big advocate for kids even when I was younger. I don't like bullies.
Yeah,
I don't like clique mentality. I have a zero tolerance for it. And so I've always been willing to stand up for those that are less fortunate and things like that. in my book, my mission, I have a mission in my book. And so
Yep,
for a
let's get
certain
to the
amount,
mission.
yes. So for a certain amount of books sold, I do fully loaded backpacks for the homeless. I love it.
Okay.
It's like so cute, right? So New York has this thing called the Midnight Run, and what they do is they go out at night, and I guess some of the homeless people might know where they can go to meet up with the Midnight Run, or they go around the city and they give out different stuff. And so I used to give out blankets like during the winter and things like that. COVID came, so it kind of threw me off my game, but I'm definitely gonna get back into it. Now I like to do little backpacks, right? Make them a survival kit. Put some blanket in there, socks, a hat, some gloves, because it gets cold out there in the wintertime. Some soup,
Yes.
some hot chocolate, some toiletries and stuff, toothbrush and different things.
Look at
Let's give out some back.
you.
Me and my husband did it a couple of times. It was awesome. It was really, really good. It
So
was really good.
keep me updated.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys are doing it, let me know if there's a way we can donate some items or funds. Maybe if we have some extra funds, we don't mind
Mm-hmm.
helping out for the cause.
Definitely.
Let me know. I know I've talked to you. You're still in the Bronx, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think
Yes,
I
yes,
talked
yes.
to you before, but we work with a hospital really closely in that area. So we
Okay.
do have a lot of families in Glow Preemies who live in the Bronx.
Okay.
So I will be
Yeah.
coming out there soon. We
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to come last year, but COVID. So we'll probably be there next year to take a little tour of the Bronx area.
Yeah.
But I would
I would
love
love
to
to
help
meet you
you.
face to face.
Yes,
Love to meet you
I
face to
would
face.
love to meet you
And
too. But
I
I got
want to
one more
say,
question. Hold on.
but wait, I want to
Okay,
say
go
this
ahead.
to you. I want to thank you
Oh,
for doing that for people in the Bronx. The Bronx is a very low socioeconomic
yeah.
territory, and we don't have the greatest health care. We don't get, the Bronx in New York City to me gets treated like the little redheaded stepchild.
You're
And
not
so we
lying.
don't, yeah. And so
Mhm.
there's not a lot of programs for our families here. And so I take my hat off for you for coming from somewhere else to help the people here. I really appreciate that.
I will tell you, well, thank you so much. Let me start with that. I appreciate it. Um, I'll tell you this much. My family is not involved at all with what I do.
Okay.
So if you ask them, hey, what does Ashley do? They'll probably tell you, I don't know. She works from home, I guess. They have no idea what Glow Preemies is. They have
Mm-hmm.
no idea what the Alliance is. They have
Okay.
no idea how many policies I have single-handedly helped
Mm-hmm.
change. Um, for your area alone, I believe we have already sent maybe 6 breast pumps to new NICU moms, Black NICU moms.
Mm,
We are working on sending more right now as we speak.
okay.
So that is just one of the little things that we do. So just to let you know that I am very appreciative for you acknowledging
Yeah.
anything that I do,
Thank you.
but I never do it for clout. That's what they
Yeah.
say. I do it more because I was a NICU mom who had no family who came to see me when I was in the NICU with my baby. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
mom that never had a baby shower because I had preemies. I'm a mom who's been let go by a doctor because I was too sick. Uh, just too many bad things. So
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for sharing your story,
Mm-hmm.
uh, particularly the preemie story.
Yeah.
But is there a way for those who just heard what you're doing with the mission to be
Mm-hmm.
able to help donate to you? Do you guys have like a Cash App set up, or will you get one so that if people see this video and want to help contribute to what you guys are doing without getting the book, or if they want to get the book and still donate, how can
Okay.
we do that?
So currently, I don't have a cash app set up
Okay,
for it.
we'll
But
work on one.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will, ma'am. Listen, you're gonna be right. You don't even know how much you're helping me right now by kind of giving me some tips and instruction. Like, hey, girl, get this
Oh,
together.
good. We're gonna
Yes,
have you
yes, yes.
popping, okay? Um, don't worry about it, you guys. So you heard her. She is gonna get a Cash App or something to that
Yes.
caliber. And when she do, I will post it under this video. So
Okay.
keep looking for this video, see if there's any updates. I'm sure I'll have you back when the book comes out.
Absolutely.
I
I'm
do want to do a giveaway for the holidays. I need that book for the giveaway.
okay.
For
And
sure.
we will definitely stay in touch. I want to see you when
Yeah.
you come to the Bronx. I want to, I want
Yes.
us to get some lunch or something.
Yeah, I can't
Because I
wait.
greatly appreciate you having me. It's been an honor. And to know what you're doing here in the Bronx is really is very moving to me. Because like even when my sister was in the NICU, there was no helping. There was no, it was thank God we had my mom and my sister to do
I know.
stuff and to help and to, even me when I had my daughter as a teen, I was like that, growing up, I was like, there's nothing here to help, people that I did have a high
Really?
school. I did go to a high school that had a daycare, but even with that high school is still an alternative high school, but it no
Oh,
longer, I
okay.
don't believe it has the daycare center anymore, which was tremendous because that gave people a real opportunity to go to school and continue their life and so but yeah,
Do
it's
they
not that
have
much
any
going
of
on.
those options
I'm not
anymore
really.
or
That was the only school. It was called Bronx Regional High School,
okay.
and I forgot the name of the extension because they had an extended piece to it where all the pregnant girls went to school. So if you were pregnant,
Oh,
you can attend and you just be in class with other pregnant girls. You wouldn't be amongst the general population. And
yeah.
then once you had your child, you were able to still come to school and bring that baby to the daycare center.
That's
But they don't
beautiful.
have, yeah, it was beautiful. New York used to be a really awesome place to live, and it
Yeah.
had a lot of resources, but not much is going on here anymore. So for you to
Okay.
still be in the place of trying to help out here, it's wonderful.
Oh, we're gonna
And
have
I,
to
I
connect
really
for sure.
definitely, because I'm ready. It's gonna the winter months are coming soon, so
Yeah.
I'll be this year I'm doing something special. This year,
Yeah.
all of the blankets that I buy, probably in the blankets and maybe in the hats, I'm gonna have my daughter sew in patches that says Jesus loves you because I want them to know
Oh,
that it comes from him, not from me.
yes. Look at
Yeah.
you.
So
I love that.
I want them to know
Um,
that he is thinking about them. He's not forgotten.
you've not
So
forgotten.
yeah, because
So
I would
you
I
you
would
know
not
what?
have gotten to this moment without
Without
God on
him.
my side. Absolutely.
I
I
feel
would
the
not
same
have.
way.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yep.
that's why I said earlier, I believe everything happens in divine timing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, God little ones is what GLOW stands for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
GLO stands for God's little ones. And I truly believe because quick backstory, um when I first got pregnant with Aiden, my oldest child, it was in 2010. I was going to Xavier in New Orleans and Tulane at the same time, going to be a OBGYN, wanted to be a doctor. That was my main goal. I wanted to be a baby doctor. And I went to Tulane because I wanted to do public health, because I wanted to
Okay.
work in the World Health Organization.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up having Aiden with 2 semesters left, and here we are 12 years later. I have Glow Preemies. It incorporates both of them, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
still
Mm-hmm.
dealing with babies. I train doctors now. I
Okay.
educate doctors through what I do at CPQCC, based at Stanford. Not only that, that was my college that I really wanted to go to. My mom
Okay.
said I couldn't go to Stanford because she wanted me to go to Xavier because they were known for African Americans to go to medical school. So
Okay.
I still ended up at Stanford. I'm
Absolutely.
still there, and I'm the
Still
first
gave you
African
your dream.
American to become chair. So I have that honor under my belt. Uh,
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got that this January, so it's probably one of my most proudest moments.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you said, your trauma makes you who you are. I only got that honor this
Mm-hmm.
year because of my three preemies, because I came in as a preemie parent who became advisory board member, who then became chair of everything within the NICU.
Yes.
So everything's divine timing. Your book
Yes.
is divine timing.
Amen.
Um,
Thank you.
we're not going to go into your divorce because you guys, I want you to get this book, help her with the book as well as help the mission. So, if anybody do want to donate before she has it, you can donate to Glow Preemies. Please put the mission in the description so we know where to send the money to. If you're
Thank
sending
you.
it to
Thank
Glow
you.
Preemies, just put donation to Glow Preemies. If not, put the mission so we can send it directly to her. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
and then, yeah, we'll get that going. I'll put everything in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to everyone, we are now on iHeartRadio now. So we are on iHeartRadio, Anchor.fm, YouTube, as well as Roku TV and Spotify. So you can look up Glow Preemies or the Ashley Randolph podcast. If you have a question that you would like to give to Miss Marie to have her answer for you, maybe by email, you can
Mm-hmm.
do so at anchor.fm/glowpremies/message. And we will make sure she gets it. And
Mm-hmm.
we are just so grateful. Now, before I let you go, because this is
Okay.
amazing, and I am going to bring you back for part two. Um, before I let you go, where can people find you? Because that's the most important thing. Is where can they
Yes,
find you?
so I am on Instagram at marie.d.mosley, Mosley. And I'm also on Facebook at Marie Mosley. And like you said, email, they can email the pretty divorce at gmail.com. And I'm also going to I'm going to set up a Cash App and send it to you. So if anybody wants to donate, I would greatly appreciate it. I will share photos so you can see that your money is going to good use, because I would like to do at least 50 backpacks this coming winter. I want to do more, but I'm saying my minimum is going to be 50 to give out to the homeless. Yeah, so there's a lot going on out there right now,
Mm-hmm.
and people need our help, you know. And
And let's
so,
not forget that it does snow, so it's very, very cold. So this would be
mhm,
going to a good cause. If
yeah,
everyone
because
helps, even $5 is adds
I
up.
do hat, glove, scarf, and
Yeah,
socks, and a blanket.
and the
So,
blanket.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's wonderful. You have such a
Thank
good heart to say
you.
everything you've been through. Um,
Mhm.
your family sounds amazing.
Thank you.
So we know that you came from some kind of good background. You know, we may not know them personally, but we know that they're tough, they're strong, and you're the
Mm-hmm.
baby. So you're gonna just take everything that you've seen from them. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be a tough cookie. So we are so appreciative of you and your
Thank you, my
work.
dear. I
And thank
appreciate
you,
you.
on behalf of all the millions of women who may be going through a divorce right now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for writing this book on behalf of them so
Not
that
a problem.
they can move forward like the women in my family. You know, hopefully I'll never have to go through that. I don't think I will, but
Yeah, you don't want to go through it, but
yeah.
it's those that have been through it, or those that feel like they're stuck. I definitely feel like my book would help them,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a little bit in there about us divorcing ourselves, not only from men but some other toxic behaviors
See
and
what I'm
things that we
saying?
do. So
Yeah.
it's, it runs, it's a pretty, I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it. And I can't wait for everyone to read it. I appreciate you. My husband appreciates you. My 4 babies and my 2 grandsons appreciate you. I could not get off the here without mentioning my kids. They are awesome. They are resilient. They went through this divorce with me.
Yeah.
They empowered me and I empowered them, and we built amazing bonds with each other behind it. And so, yeah, it's doable. It's okay.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How comfortable is your husband and kids with being on TV?
I don't think my kids would have any problem with it. Let me tell you something. First of all,
not for an interview though.
My son is Mr. Congeniality. He's so astute, and he's such an awesome young man. My girl, I have one daughter though. She's very much into her faith, and she's very modest. And so she might be like, "Mommy, I don't want to be on TV." But the oldest two would get ready for you. Like, here we are.
I'm here.
Yes. And hubby, like I said, hubby's an alpha. He's very confident. He believes in himself. He would have no problem. We'll show up.
We'll definitely talk after this.
Yes.
We're doing a holiday special for our Roku TV.
Okay.
And I would love to offer you and your family a little part in it.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you off of here
about
it. And then, I just want to offer it. We are trying to uplift as many Black voices as possible because when I first got started, there was a lot of people who are at the top right now in the NICU world who told me I would never make it unless I had everyone included. And I said, absolutely not when we have the highest rates. So I know how hard I had to fight, and I'm going to try to make sure that you guys don't have to fight as hard as I did.
And I appreciate that. And I want to say this, my book, anybody can read my book.
Okay.
But I really did have us in mind. Yeah. We go through a unique set of circumstances in almost every situation out here. So I have women that might not have resources. You know, I talk about court and everything in there. Like, when you got a lawyer, all of that stuff.
The good questions.
You know what I'm at? Absolutely. Because we have to speak up for one another. We have to, and I don't shun anybody. Like I said, it's because we all women, we all go through divorce. But when I was going through divorce, I didn't have, $10,000 to get a lawyer to fight for the house and the Rolls Royce. I didn't have all of that. And so I want to talk to people that really do need the assistance, and that need someone to be able to be a voice for them. And so I appreciate you for that, and just know that I am following in those footsteps as well.
I'm so happy for you. This time next year, you're going to be like, ooh, I'm on book number 2. It's like, good. When is it coming out? Oh, you already have it out?
No, I don't have it out, but it'll be done in the next few weeks. Like, I'll be ready to send it off for editing.
Ooh, all right. Okay, so when book number 3 coming?
So it was. I think the Lord was like, I want you to do 3 this year, but I didn't. I've been going through a lot of because my mom passed away.
Okay.
And so I've been finally coming up from that, from that.
Did she pass this year?
Stuff. No, she passed in 2020. Girl, it's so much stuff. Let me tell you something. It is so much stuff. And I'm going to quickly say this. My daughter, the one that I said is modest, this woman, this cult leader, talked her into, no, I'm being honest. I'm not.
I'm serious.
I'm being very serious. She talked my daughter into leaving home and not speaking to us anymore.
No.
Yes. In 2018. Yes. And so we were going through that and trying to get her back. And Then my mom passed away. It's been a lot, but you know what? God is still good. He's still on the throne. I stayed in prayer with me and my sister and my family. We started a whole prayer group, and God brought that baby home. She's home. She's doing well. She's happy. She's not, she has things, but she's not like some people that come out of situations like that. She was there for 2.5 years, and she came home, and she's not anywhere near some of the horror stories that I heard. So I'm grateful. It's been
a battle.
A journey. It's been a journey, girl.
I'll tell you really quickly, too. Oh my goodness. See, I told you we could talk forever. Really quickly, my story kind of matches yours. So my mom died January 4th, 2019 with a CPAP machine on her after she'd been complaining about it for a year. She dies in her sleep. My dad dies February 11th, 2020, the next year. Last year, I find out that there is a lawsuit case against Philip Respironics because they knew for 10 years that their CPAP machine was letting out toxic gas instead of oxygen, which is what my mother was complaining for. I am currently right now trying to settle out of court with Phillips. They don't ever answer. Because I really don't want to go through the whole lawsuit proceedings. Like I'm drained at this point.
Yes.
Okay. The whole situation, can I please just put it behind me now?
Yes.
I feel like I still have never grieved. So I'm just here, just like, come on, let's close this so I can move on. But all of that has happened really fast. And then my grandmother, my mom's mom, she had a stroke this year. She had a blood clot in her brain earlier this year. So she's still alive, but she's nowhere to where she used to be. So if you ask me, I feel like since 2019 to today, all the close relatives I had growing up, they're all gone, and they drop like flies really fast. So, close uncles, everything, just
girl, we lost, starting with my mom, we lost 9 in 7 months. Starting with mommy in 7 months, we lost 9 back to back. In 1 month, we lost my aunt. 2 days after that, her son-in-law, and a month after that, her husband, my uncle. So my one of my cousins lost her mother, her husband, and her father in the span of a month. Girl, I'm telling you,
it's like I don't know what is going on.
Woo, but let me tell you something. Woo. I trust the Lord, and I don't think He let us go through all of that for nothing.
I agree.
It just cannot be for nothing. There is some sort of something. He got something waiting for us. And let me tell you something. Do not be weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. He cannot lie. It has to. You understand? Yeah. All of what you're going through, all of what you've been through, losing your parents, it is all for a reason. Is not all in vain. You're gonna be able to bless so many people's lives behind it. I know it don't bring them back and fill that void, but God will fill that void for you with His love. And that's really how I have to move through life.
Yeah. And it's not for money. I will say that it's not for the money, but I definitely want, I don't even, I ain't gonna say no number because they'll be like, oh, listening. But what I will say is it's about the fact that they did something wrong. They knew they were wrong. And the advocate in me won't let me be quiet for my mom, but be loud for a million other people.
Oh, no, you can't. You cannot do that. You have to. You have to. When the thing happened with my sister, my mom, she was so out of it. I think she settled out for the most minute. And my mom wasn't a real fighter. She didn't like confrontation and all of that stuff. So,
She
but
just wanted it to be done.
yeah, she just wanted it
Mm-hmm.
to be done, but don't let it go. You know, these people, these medical, they have to start doing better. And real quick, and when I was as a counselor, we would go to a lot of different workshops. And I went to one workshop and they were talking about the medical field and how things are disproportionate between blacks, not only in housing, but also in the medical field. And I had never thought that that was even, you know, I really just thought that the medical field doctors, their oath, I thought they had integrity, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it helped me to understand why my mother, who went to the hospital every year for a checkup, for every annual, because I could not understand. I said, how can you be telling me in 2005, my mom only has 1 year to live because one of her valves is completely destroyed and the other one needs to be repaired? It is no way possible. My mom keeps up with all of her doctor's appointments, with all of
No.
our doctor's appointments. And it was an awesome cardiologist that saved that God used to save my mom's life, basically, because they had given her 1 year to live. And he did this new surgery on her to clear out plaque from her arteries, to make her heart strong enough to survive the surgery. And then what they did to her helped her to live another 15 years.
Oh,
right? But I
wow.
had no idea. And it wasn't until I went to that workshop that I said, that's how mommy's heart was able to get to that condition, going to this doctor, the same lady, year after year after year. And they explained how in the white community, they'll get the cure while we just get something to you know, help
send
the
us home.
symptoms. We get the something to help the symptoms, but we don't actually get what we need at sometimes. And I was really thrown back by that. I was like, doctors are doing like waiting
All about
what?
insurance.
Have people's lives in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? It's real.
It's very
And
real.
so you do what you have to do and you hold them accountable. Make them be accountable. Because it's not okay.
No.
That's your mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's touch your life, and no, it's
and she
not
was
okay.
only 50, just made 50 in 6 months. It was January because our birthday's in June.
Absolutely
And I
not.
will tell you, you were telling me about your baby and how she was with your mom, and then you just got her home. So that night, my son was actually staying with my mom. And they actually were with my grandmother. And so my grandmother is the one who found my mom. And my son didn't know that she had passed. By the time he woke up, they had already came and took my mom out and everything.
Wow.
But to this day, I still think that that's when everything, like for your backstory, that's when everything for Aiden, he's a top 10% in the state for state testing. But his grades started going down right after that. And he started to get into fights at school. So we had to switch him schools. And it was like I had to almost rewire Aiden. So when you're talking about rewiring your daughter, I'm like, yep, I'm going through that now with Aiden and trying to put him back to where he was before he had all these losses at one time because he never lost nobody. And then all of a sudden, it's like boom, boom, boom. And he's like, I can't go to grandma's house no more to babysit. I can't go by grandpa at all. My Nana's dead. I mean,
yeah,
it's a lot.
he sounds like my son. My son was very close to my mother. Very
Really?
close.
See, how's your son doing now? I know it's been about 2
He's,
years.
she passed away 2 days after I dropped him off at college.
No.
Yep. 2 days. That Wednesday we took him up, and Friday she was gone. And he was like, Mommy, I'm here. Like, and he was a freshman. He was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm here alone. I need to get home. Where I gotta, and I was just like, calm down. I'm gonna get you a plane ticket. You're gonna get an Uber. You gotta, but you in college now, you know. You gotta talk to the people. You gotta explain to them what happened and tell them you have to go home because it was still in the in the midst of COVID, and they didn't want you
Oh,
leaving campus.
and
They said
coming
they had a
back.
bubble. They had a
Mm-hmm.
bubble around the state, and once you came in, they didn't want you like going out, coming back. But my son was like, I don't care if I can't be in school, then that's. I was like, no, we're gonna talk to them first, and then we're gonna get you home. But I got like I'm terrified because you're there by
Yeah.
yourself. I need you to calm down, and we'll figure it out. If I tell you, boy, let me tell you, my son, while my mom was sick, my son was washing her, helping her, like without me even knowing, because I had hurt my back. And I was like, what are you doing? You can't be changing grandma. He was like, but mom, your back is messed up. Like, I have to help you. I have to help grandma, you know. Them boys are something else. They're amazing. And
Mm.
that's why your son is going through that, because of the love he had for his grandmother, you know? And you just gotta help him work through it. You gotta just help him work through it and keep talking to him, you know, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Loss is difficult.
It very is. I thank you for talking to me through that. And we were supposed to be talking about you, and we done ended up helping me out. Okay. That's how a good interview goes.
Okay. It's
So
okay. Yes, and we will
uh
definitely stay in touch.
yeah, we'll
Okay.
have you back for a part two. And thank you so, so much. And
Yes.
everyone, please share and go visit her Instagram and Facebook. Like, follow, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And look out for the mission. That's what we're going to call it now. So if you hear me say we're getting ready to do the mission, we're talking about them backpacks, okay? So
Okay.
thank you again, Marie, for
Thank
talking
you.
to our families, and
Yes,
we
ma'am.
will talk soon.
Yes, ma'am. Take